You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Well, everybody, welcome in to your favorite weekly racing talk show. This is the Revved Sports Show. Showtime Bobby Chappie right here. The Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. That's that man over there in the green cap, hanging out in the new. I'm assuming that's the new studio. Still probably under construction after a while.
Yeah, the shoe is what we're calling this. The studio at the shoe. So yeah, definitely lots of stuff to still be taken care of, but everything up and working. That's the most important thing at this point. How you been, man? Been a hot week.
Been a busy week. So far, so good, I reckon. Other than that, I gotta adjust my glasses because apparently, if you look when we have guests and I'm looking at something on my computer, apparently it looks like I'm falling asleep based upon the reflection of the screen with my glasses. So I got to figure out how to fix that.
Okay, President. See, you have something in common with the leader of the free world, my man.
Well,
doze off.
We're both assholes, yeah.
Oh man, no, it's all good. I haven't noticed. It's like, yeah, that's one of the things with the studio being reset up. I mean, all the angles and everything. When you broadcast out of the same place for damn near however long we've been doing this, it's like it's a totally different footprint. So trying to get everything set in different ways, So still messing with it, but it's all good, man. I got to tell you, and we got a fun show. We got a very loaded program. But by the way, I sure enjoyed my Wednesday. So I had some work to do, and man, as I was working, I seriously sat to work, and literally watched Indy 500 practice all day. It was on all day, 8 hours. I think it was 8 hours.
FS1, FS2, I'm sure, or combination.
Yeah, man. That's some good stuff right there. And somebody actually did reach out, and for the folks that message me on Twitter and ask questions, well, I'll pose those to Bobby, and we'll kind of try to answer those from time to time. But somebody actually messaged me today and said, why are they having all this practice if there's barely enough cars to run 33? And I think the answer to that is because if they change it, people are going to get pissed off because change is not greeted well, and you can't mess with any of that stuff with what they do at the 500.
Well, I mean, it's still the month of May, but they don't practice near as much as they used to because you're right, they don't have as many cars as they once had. They even had changed the format this year because they did good to get 33 cars.
Yeah, and and the thing about it is today I heard them talking about to where they had a very good point that you never know what the weather's going to do in Indiana. So that's one of the reasons that you see, and they're on the track all the time. I mean, all 33 were on today. Nobody skipped. Some went more than others, but hell of a good day. Hell of a good day. Speaking of a hell of a good day, and coming up later on in the program, probably towards the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk about the All-Star Shootout that's coming up next weekend. The 4 great IMCA tracks are going to be hosting just a hell of a lot of stuff that's going on. We'll talk to our man, Marcus Harkrow, that will join us then. But we have to talk about what we just witnessed this past weekend. We touched on it last week, Bobby. $30,000 on the line. Who's who of factory stocks. And man, I think, what was it, right at 130? I think is what Boot Hill had.
Yeah, 128 is last count I had.
28.
I mean, 128, 130. That doesn't really make a hill of beans difference right there. So
pretty damn impressive. When all said and done, $30,000 on the line, and here's the dude that took it home. Man, welcome back to the Revved Up Sports Show. It is our man, Mr. Jeffrey Abbey. Jeffrey, how we doing, buddy?
Man, good. How are y'all?
Doing well, man. I always ask anytime that we get a big show winner like that, any of that money left?
Oh yeah, it's still there. So we ain't spent it just yet.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
So the question I always have when the guys win the big money, and you don't have to give away every secret and every dime and penny on the car, but like, I mean, is it worth winning $30,000 when they tear that thing all the way down to the bone, the block, all that? I mean, hell, you got to spend another $25,000 putting the damn thing back together.
Luckily we do all our work for the most part ourselves, minus the motor work and stuff like that. But the guys over at Best Engines, man, they have a pretty cool deal they do over there. If you get tore down in tech and you're deemed legal, they'll put it back together for free. So we dropped that thing
Wow.
over. We dropped that thing over at Best Engines on Monday, and they posted a picture yesterday. It was ready to be picked up. So we'll
Nice.
pick the motor up and get it dropped back in and go through everything else they tore apart, and we should have it all back ready to go this weekend.
Nice. So Jeffrey, talk about the week, man, because the biggest part of it is, I mean, you got to get into the show. I mean, for a lot of guys, because it is, like I said, it's a who's who of the badass drivers, you know, that are going to make that trip out to Boot Hill. So, kind of talk about the week for you getting into the show and eventually winning that hell of a race right there at the end, man, with Neil Kemp. That was pretty damn special to watch.
Yeah, it was a fun race for sure. We got out there Thursday. We actually were on a cruise the week before. We actually got off the cruise ship Thursday morning and went straight to the track. So we got to the track Thursday and didn't feel very good in practice, but man, didn't make too many changes really. We know that's not the track we're going to race on most of the time. Friday night they did the double heat races. We rolled off from 7th and were able to win that one. And I knew if you were going to be one of the 4 cars locked in from the heat races and passing points, you had to pretty much win both of them. So we won that first one from 7th, and the second one we rolled off 3rd, and we were able to win that too. So we were sitting pretty good, and we barely made it in. We were the 4th car to make it in, and we still won both their heat races. So if somebody else would have passed one more car, we probably would have been out.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can see the picture we have popped up. I had other long list of questions to ask, but now my question is, why is South Texas Sweet Tea Johnny Torres in your picture?
Yeah, me and Johnny are pretty good buddies, and this is actually a new B&B chassis factory stock. It's one of 2, and the other one that has one is Johnny, which he debuted down there, and he had good speed all weekend, but didn't have the results he wanted there in the end. Got tore up pretty good, but no, he helped us out all weekend.
So speaking of the car, I have to tell you, man, because we talked about this last week. I like that car has a roof on it. You know, this was a topless thing right there. What's the decision on that? I mean, to me, if it's a factory stock, if it's a stock car, it needs to have a freaking roof. I mean, but that's me. I'm old. I'm an old head like that. But what went into that, man? I'm glad it stayed on.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal to do the topless deal. But I know when we ran the limited topless down at Corpus, it always affected the car a little bit. Didn't quite steer as good as it normally does. So 30,000 on the line. I didn't want to take any chances of what we had been doing and change anything on our program.
Love it.
So in terms, I'm always curious. We ask different people for the different shows. I mean, obviously you came off the cruise, so this may have changed the answer. But when it comes to the big shows, obviously they say everything wins at the shop, and everybody kind of agrees that you win at the shop, getting it set up and all that. But for these bigger shows, are you triple checking the nuts and bolts versus double checking them, or are you just trying to keep it as normal of a weekend as you can, despite the fact there's $30,000 out there dangling in front of you like a carrot?
Yeah, we stay on top of our maintenance program pretty good. But I mean, if there's 30,000 on the line, you're doing a little extra. We actually the week before I went on the cruise, the car looked about like it did when we got done in tech. We had everything stripped off of it, checking everything, greasing everything, making sure everything's spinning free, moving free, and everything's working like it should.
How big is it? You mentioned right there about locking into the top 4. When you get into a show like this, I mean, especially for somebody, the caliber of driver like you, I mean, you've done so much to, it's not the end of the world if you don't lock into the top 4, but for somebody with the program that you have, how important is it to be a part of that to where you're locked in and you don't have to sweat any of the other bullshit that's going to be coming along when you get into the alphabet soup and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely a relief. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in some of those qualifying races. I mean, all y'all guys watched it. There was definitely some carnage, and you never know what could happen in one of those deals. It may not even be your doing. You may get wiped out. You may have something break. You just never know. So if you can get locked in, it definitely lifts a little bit of weight off your shoulders.
So I want to switch gears from the factory stock to a minute. You mentioned limited down in Corpus. As somebody that's had both, run both successfully, what's the deal with the limiteds, man? The only class that seems to get any, or only track that seems to get any, is Cotton Bowl and Kennedale. They're like dinosaurs everywhere else with just a handful of them every week. What's up with that, you think?
Yeah, so it's been a while since I ran a sport mod. That's actually what I started on dirt in when I was 13 or 14 years old, and ran it for a few years and kind of went all over the place, won a bunch of races in that. But once we got out of that, got in the stock car and stuff like that, I actually got back in a limited for a guy a year or so ago, and man, it don't drive like a stock car does. Or in the factory stock deal, it's cool. It's a full body car. They race good, and they just pay so much money. It's hard not to have a factory stock. But man, the stock cars, they're just so much fun to drive. And the limiteds, they were the premier class there for a while, it seemed like, and then guys kind of moved on, went to modified stock cars, different classes. And I mean, it's still around, and a few places still have good car counts, but it's not like it used to be.
So kind of talk about that part, Jeffrey, because that's actually exactly where I was going. I was going to go to the stock car because we got a lot of folks that are checking in on ultra broadcasting, and factory stock is different here. I mean, especially up north, here in Texas, Louisiana, all of that, versus what some of the other factory stocks are versus a stock car. Kind of talk about some of the differences right there, because a lot of people, they look at them and it's like, well, it looks like the same thing, but then you watch them race and you see the vast differences right there. For a little 101 for the folks that may not know what, because the factory stock is the dominant car down here, it seems like. Kind of talk about the differences there between the two.
Yeah, so the factory stock deal, and I mean, there's many different variances of roll packages from here to they have them out in Florida, all down the East Coast. I mean, the packages change a little bit, but the main difference from our factory stocks to our IMCA USRA stock car, the factory stocks are allowed aluminum bodies, where the stock car we still got to run a steel body.
Mm-hmm.
The factory stocks are kind of more limited, more stock suspension, as the upright arms are stock, no weight jacks, stock mount shocks, and you just kind of limited on what you can do. You're still running a 7.5 GM rear end, and we're on the slicks. A little bit less motor, just more of a factory car. I mean, I know they're not factory, but when you get to like an IMC or USA stock car, you got weight jacks on all four corners. You got high end shocks. There's just a lot more you can do suspension wise on a stock car than you can a factory stock.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously, they drive differently. How much do you change your driving style between each set of cars? And then which one do you like better? Obviously, I feel like the factory stock's your favorite right now because you got 30,000 reasons to like it. But, I mean, how much do you have to change between driving the two?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I take a lot of pride and time and fine tuning suspension. It's what I do for a living. I build shocks and work on suspension stuff. So we took a lot of time and getting the factory stock kind of dialed in. So it drives pretty similar to the stock car. It don't have as much movement, it don't have much left or hike, but I get it down on the right front where I can be steering all the time and keep traction in it. So it drives pretty similar. I mean, they're definitely a little bit different with the big tires, and the factory stock have less motor, but yeah, I get them down on the right front, get them handling like I like. They drive pretty similar.
So with these factories, I mean, there is no shortage of talent. You watch some of these guys, and again, they're in Greenwood. It was like I said, it was a coming together of all the best of the best right there that run these cars, and then guys like you that from time to time will run them and come run the big shows. Just kind of talk about some of the talent that was on hand right there. I mean, you go and you look at the results, and you look at even some of the names that didn't make the show. Pretty humbling right there. How strong this division is down here in this part of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the factory stock class, it's been a big class for a long time. I know it started out as beginner class, but man, that's not what it is no more. You pay these big money shows like this. I think 30,000 to win's the biggest stock car race we have around our region. So it's pretty crazy. And man, if you're in the area and you got a factory stock, I don't know why you weren't there. You definitely missed out on a good show. But yeah, everybody in the factory stock class, you got all the heavy hitters from 3 states away coming to race this deal. And yeah, it definitely showed there was a really good race in the feature.
So Jeffrey, are guys building factory stocks just to run the big shows, or is it one of those where unless you have a business that revolves around a factory stock and you can stay within that realm? Because I always say if you miss a couple of weeks, you're missing a mile if you're not running every week. How is that working for some of the guys that want to build just go for the big shows versus, the guys that are trying to run weekly? Do you get left behind by missing a count here and there?
I don't think so. I think there's definitely guys that build cars just for the money. I mean, I know I drive this car for Tim Hardman, and that's the reason we built this thing, is just go chase the money. We don't we don't really hit any of the weekly shows. We hit a couple of shows at Waco at the beginning of the year just because it was a new car and we were trying to get it dialed in. We plan to run the full Race On All Star Challenge for all that money they put up, and of course the 30,000, the King of the Hill, all the 10,000 wins coming to Louisiana. But we probably won't race it a whole lot locally and just kind of focus on chasing that money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dialed in. I mean, that's for damn sure.
Sure.
So, what's coming up this weekend? I mean, that's a cool thing about talking to guys like you. It's like a lot of times it's like, okay, when's the next race? We know you're racing this weekend. What you got? What you got the rest of May? You talked about the All-Star Shootout. Marcus is going to come on and talk about that after you. But what's coming up this weekend for you?
Yeah, we really like to run that All-Star Shootout. We were actually going to try to take the stock car out this weekend and do a little stock car racing, but we're going to focus on putting this factory stock back together, and we're going to miss the All-Star Shootout, unfortunately. The Race On All-Star deal, we go to the Triple Crown Throwdown in Louisiana. We hit Sabine on Friday for the Darty Smith Memorial, Boot Hill on Saturday, and then Arklatex on Sunday for a 3-day swing down there. So we'll get the factory stock put back together, make sure it's on point for that deal, and we'll go down there and do that. The end of the month, we have a trip planned to the IMCA Summer Nationals up in Independence, Iowa, with the stock car, and then that about wraps up the month for us.
Nice.
It's a lot of racing with just a little bit of time to go.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, you talk about running around the different regions. We talk to guys that run like super late models that have basically the same rule package all over the country, but depending on what region they're in, whether they're in the Northeast or out in California on the West Coast or down in the Southeast, the driving styles and the aggressiveness level is completely different depending on where they are, despite all being the same car. Is that something that you notice? Like, is Boot Hill just that much more aggressive than, say, some of the South Texas races versus some of the Louisiana races, Arkansas races? Like, in terms of that, I mean, how do you feel differently, or is it because the big shows have the same guys, it feels like the same race?
I wouldn't say it's more aggressive at Boot Hill, but they put on a bunch of big money shows, so all the locals around there are really good. I mean, the Arklatex guys, they kind of dominated the factory stocks there for 3 or 4 years. And like I talked about on the Race On podcast yesterday, the DFW guys have been coming that way and tuning their stuff in and getting better and better every time. And I think it showed this year. We had a lot of DFW guys and Texas guys over there in the Arklatex area that ran really good this weekend. But, I mean, when you put that much money on the line, there's going to be the best of the best show up. So you're gonna have to race against all of them.
That's right. Last one for me, Jeffrey. And again, $30,000 winner right here. Spring Nationals in the factory stocks over at Boot Hill this past weekend. So I will ask you, because you've driven them all. Kind of the resurgence, not only in South Texas, with the STEM series and so forth, that's working with the modifieds, but it looks like you guys were talking about the sport mods and the limited modifieds a while ago. But it looks like the modifieds, you got the Tom series and so forth. It kind of looks like it's. I think that the factory stocks kind of put a little bit of a dent there in some of the modified stuff, but it looks like the heartbeat is kind of raised up a little bit on the modifieds. Just kind of in your travels, you think that those big mods are kind of feeling it once again, it seems like?
Yeah, absolutely. I know the IMCA mod stuff kind of died off here, and the STEM series, the guys with the STEM series and ODS, everything they're doing kind of brought that back to life, especially in the South Texas area, and I feel like it's coming up this way, but up here, the Tom series, the Arm series, those Outlaw modified series have been really strong. I think the Toms, every night they race, they have 20, 25 plus cars every time they show up at a track. So I think the Outlaw mod class is really strong, and I think the Stems has really helped bringing back the IMCA stuff.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the big one. I know you're looking for more success throughout the rest of the season, but yeah, man, don't spend all that money in one spot. I mean, make sure. I mean, I'm sure you probably spent the wazoo out of it, on that cruise ship, paying for all the alcohol and all the excursions and all that. So probably puts a little money back in the pocket after that vacation. So
oh, for sure.
But best of luck, man. Thanks for coming on, and we'll hook up with you soon next time you win another big one.
Yep. Thank y'all for having me on. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yep. Thank you.
You bet. There goes Jeffrey Abbey, big winner, $30,000. And man, it really was. I didn't see the entirety of the race. I saw the end. I saw some highlights of it, but The good thing about it, there were different things throughout the weekend to where, because you look at those races and, like if Abby's going to be there, I mean, you look at Dalton Faulkner, you look at Kemp, you look at all of these different guys, and it's like, okay, yeah, these are going to be the guys. But the good thing about shows like that is you get good stories that come out of that, to where there are guys that really go out and do really good things. Like I said, making the show is a big damn deal.
It really is for a show that big. I mean, like we said, when you look at the results, I mean, unfortunately, not a great ending to a lot of the South Texas guys. They put on good racing and had good cars, but the mainstays down here, Johnny Torres and Jared Maupin, just they couldn't get the traction, so to speak, that they needed to get the right racing luck to make that A main. So we've seen when they make the A main, they can be hard to deal with and try to run up front, but it's it's a challenge. These big show, 128 cars.
Unbelievable.
I don't care what class it is. I don't care. The last time we saw that many cars together in one spot was Chili Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. So Abby wins, Neil Kemp, Dalton Faulkner, Kyle Cummings, Chris Sawyer. That is your top 5 right there. And again, I mean, that's a list of guys that that are always going to be a part of this. But the difference in this one to me is, and this is what I like about these, that's 50 laps. And that's, a lot of these guys are accustomed to, 25, maybe 30, but then you get into something like this to where you add that extra lap. And like he said, I just think it's so important. Track time is so very important. And the thing is with dirt, this is one of the things that I love about dirt, because I've said it for so long with short track asphalt racing. This doesn't need to be a fucking marathon. You don't need to be there for 4 days, as I'm applauding Indy for running, but that's different. That's the greatest spectacle in racing. But that's one of the problems that I've had with asphalt racing. These guys don't get a lot of track time. And when you can jump off a boat, literally nail the setup, and boom, there you go. You lock yourself in. You're in a really, really good spot.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, in terms of just making the show and the way that everything works, I just think that it's I always wondered how the economics, the math, how does it math out? But I guess when you get 128 cars plus entry fees plus different pit passes and stuff like that, obviously the math has to math right, because not only do they do the Spring Nationals, they do that big money King of the Hill race too. So somehow, some way, they're making that math, and they put up some big shows and some big money, because I mean, $30,000 that paid more than the Snowball Derby did a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'm here to tell you, I mean, if there's any question, and I mean, it's not a matter of, pitting tracks against each other, but when you want to look at, we're based in Texas, but when you look at these events, like Abby was talking about right there, anything that you're going to have at Boot Hill, I mean, that is the one. And I've had folks ask me about Boot Hill. They're like, where in Texas is Boot Hill? I'm like, it's not. It's in Louisiana, So anything. And like he mentioned, there's one coming up week after next. There's another big one over there. So it's like every race is a big race right there. And it draws big names out, and it always pays big money. So really cool things happening in Greenwood, Louisiana.
So the one thing we figured out, I was going to ask him, but we kind of know, is like, what comes first, the cars or the purse? And we've seen with the factory stocks, as the cars have increased, Boot Hill has set it up. First, there was a big $5,000 win race. That was amazing that one race had 60 cars and paid $5,000. Then one of the tracks put up 10,000, and they got a few more cars. And then it, increased incrementally, 15, 20. We thought King of the Hill was never going to be beat at $25,000 to win with a crown. And then boom, Spring Nationals, 30,000 to win. It's like, geez, now they just, what's next? A $50,000 to win factory stock race? If that's the case, they need to announce that a couple of years in advance, and there'll be guys building cars from all over the country trying to run for 50K.
Yeah, there's no telling who you get in something like that. I mean, that's absolutely, and that's just kind of what you're talking about right there, and kind of that prospect of a race happening. That's how the factory stock has got here. And again, and that was the thing where I think he was so. I like how he answered that question where he talked about, because there are very different variations of this of the factory stock. I see them around the country, and I look at them, and I'll see different videos on different streaming platforms, and I'm like, those don't run like the ones that I see. Yeah, so there's differences right there, and I think that ultimately, whether it's good or bad, where initially, like we talked about, it was some of the downfall of the modified, and I do think that now it's a little bit of the downfall of the limited mod to where it's like it's just so much more enticing to where if you're going to spend the money and you want to again. Well, and this is how much the sport has changed. What I'm about to say right now, because we've talked about so many years where it's like, this is not your business. But guys like Jeffrey Abbey and different people that we talk to on this program, that is their business. They make a living racing, and they make a living having customers and building those cars. That's where the factory stock has just blown itself into this thing that 50K doesn't seem that far out of reach. Hell, you're only 20K away. I mean, I talk about it like I have it in the backyard over here somewhere, but yeah, why wouldn't that happen? Why wouldn't that happen? And who wouldn't show up to do that?
I mean, there gotta be somebody. I mean, if you think about it in terms of like, it's kind of like the evolution of like, we seen it in asphalt racing, or we saw it in dwarf car racing, right? When you had a bone stock, lots of bone stock parts on a dwarf car, and you had guys coming in from other disciplines because it looked fun. They were running asphalt modifieds, asphalt limited late models, asphalt late models. They're spending $4,000 on a set of shocks for them. That was normal. But they were like, well, hell, I could get a set of shocks on this dwarf car and make it a hell of a lot faster for $2,000. Well, next thing you know, all the box shocks from the auto parts store are gone, and in come these high dollar $2,000 a set racing shocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then your class that you have, the original bone stock or bone, stocker class is gone. You see that with that's how limited late models got started. That's how late model sportsmen get started. That's how street stocks turn into super stocks. That's how hobby stocks turn into street stocks. It's just the nature of the beast, right? That's how some people call it evolution, but it's greedy racers. It's greed. It's not evolution. It's greed, because everybody wants to move. You always generally try to run one class above what you can afford.
Yeah.
That's the general. I mean, that's a lot of the way that people run it. And then you want to move down a class or move over a class to take all those special features you wanted to have. A quick change rear end and, extra seat, extra.
Because it's easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was always my favorite. And that's why, I still laugh. I mean, I've got a lot of friends in the crate motor business, to where it's like the crate engine came around to make things easier. And it's like, yeah, but shit, I can't turn more than 7,500 horsepower. It's easier. It's less wear and tear, less maintenance. Anyway, I mean, that's a whole different discussion. But like for factory stocks, I mean, that's a good alternative there. But I will tell you, and Marcus is coming up, but one thing hopefully we can talk about is that through all of these different progressions that we've watched and classes falling off, I think I know you were witness to, I think that something in South Texas may be bringing some of those back. And I think that we might be on the cusp of something. I don't think it's going to get factory stockish, but I think we may be seeing something in South Texas. It's going to kind of give that ray of hope where some of the cars from the past can come back.
Jerry Lee Lewis class.
The Jerry Lee Lewis class. You never know. Hey, before Marcus Hartcrow, we do want to tell you again about our friends at On Demand Shirts. We'll hear from them, the official apparel provider of BC, of me, of Revved Up, of Dirty Air Sports, of all of it, and the official apparel provider of a lot of you racers. Down home, great people. It's James Cole and his group there in San Antonio, On Demand Shirts. Then we will hear from our friends at My Race Pass, and then we talk to the man that just keeps coming back for more with the All-Star Shootout coming up next week. It's Marcus Hartcrow. We'll be right back.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values as screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Hashtag Real Race Talk. It is the Revved Up Sports Show live, LIVE, coming to you from Central Texas on the Revved Up Show on RevvedUpSportsShow.com, on YouTube, on Ultra Broadcasting. Showtime Bobby Chaffee, Rodney Rodriguez here with all of you, and we're just talking short track racing, and we'll talk some other stuff too coming up a little bit later on. Great discussion there with Jeffrey Abbey talking about the $30,000 win at Boot Hill Speedway this past weekend in the Spring Nationals, and we got another just huge show coming up over the Memorial Day weekend. Another guy that wears multiple hats, multitasker. Hell, he does these shows. He does race announcing. He does it all, my man. He does it all. Let's welcome back to the Revved Up Sports Show. It is our man, Marcus Harcrow. How we doing, brother? I love that shirt.
Hi, thanks, Rodney and Bobby. It's good to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. So, Marcus, you got the promoter hat on right now. So I'm going straight to the promoter question. You're about to put on an event. I mean, it's not just one. Well, no. Actually, I do want to ask you. Talk about the Baby Blue. Recap the Baby Blue, man. That's always such a special race. Recap that before we get into all this.
The Baby Blue was very good. It was a great night. Some amazing action on the track. Every race, truly mattered. And you had, talent. There wasn't no lack of talent in any of the races, including the B mains or LCQs, whatever you want to call them. But man, it was a very successful night. I really can't complain too much. We're going to tweak it just like we do every year. Just try to find that sweet spot, what works best, what doesn't, make some changes here and there. But overall, it was a great night. Great race. I think Mom would have been proud. No, Dad would have been. Had a ton of family there. That was awesome to see some of my family there that don't always make it out to the track. And they stuck it out. We were done fairly early. We were done before midnight, which, having an 8 o'clock start is sometimes challenging. But no, we were done fairly early. They stuck it out. They watched it. They were, even the fans, when the race was over, they're like, "Are we done? Man, no, we want more." But no, overall, the Baby Blue went very well. But yeah, look for some modifications, maybe even a later date change. That's the one thing we, haven't really settled on. We've moved around here and there, just trying to find a weekend that, Mother Nature gives us nice sunshine and doesn't toy with us throughout the week, and it not be too hot, So we're still searching for that sweet spot in the calendar where we can have a standalone weekend, and because we want other drivers. We have drivers like Jeffrey Abbey and them, going to races like that factory stock race there. We don't want them to have to choose between our race and somebody else's. So we'll find that sweet spot and hopefully stake our flag in the ground and say, all right, this is ours. But overall, the Baby Blue went great.
So, Marcus, we're simulcasting on a couple of new outlets than we did before last time we had you. So go over the Cliff Notes version of the All-Star Shootout this year for those that are unfamiliar with it. Obviously, we know about it because we've been having you on the show for years and watching it for years. But for those that are new to the show and new to the All-Star Shootout, give the Cliff Notes version of what it's about.
Well, the All-Star Shootout is a tour, 4-race tour featuring the IMCA Modifieds, the Weir's Machine IMCA Modifieds, the Lit Sticks IMCA Southern Sport Mods, and the Speed Secret IMCA Stock Cars. We start practice Wednesday, May 20th at Southern Oklahoma, and then officially kick it off Thursday, May 21st at Southern Oklahoma. We travel south a little bit down to Bells, Texas at Grayson County Speedway on May 22nd. that'll be a Friday this year. So this is going to be the first year that Mark has, had a weekend date. So we're excited about that. And then we're going to head west to Kennedale on May 23rd, and then travel south down to Heart of Texas Speedway for championship night on Sunday, May 24th. All nights start at 7 o'clock. At the first two tracks, it is just our divisions, just our three. Kennedale and Waco will have support classes. But yeah, that's the Cliff Notes version. We're IMCA sanctioned tour, going to be proudly broadcasted on imca.tv. And great payout for both nightly, great points payout, and a ton of awesome contingencies.
Absolutely. So Marcus, we were talking about Boot Hill and talking there with Jeffrey about the races there and the different how that's such a hotbed. Let's talk about these 4 racetracks that are lined up on this tour right here. When you talk about it in this part of the world, you got 4 racy ass racetracks right there, man. Talk about these. And the other thing about it, these are all staples where the promotional staff, they are just amazing. They're great people to work with. Talk about that part. When you're doing a tour like this, especially night after night, you got to work hand in hand. These are 4 great facilities to be doing this at.
Absolutely. And not only just great facilities, but this is a tour that really kind of tests drivers, both in the cockpit and in the pits. SOS, big 3/8 mile, huge 3/8 mile. I mean, I'd almost even go 4/10 mile. It's big, and it's fast, wide, multiple grooves, and it's, as a racer, it's super, super fun to drive, and then we total opposite the next night. We go to the shortest track on the tour, tight bull ring at Grayson County, really, really racy. Mark and them, everybody does a fantastic job, throughout. But Grayson County, super, super tight track, short bull ring. There's no other phrase than saying it's a short bull ring, because you're going to get your elbows up, you're going to dig in, and you're going to be battling it out. Exactly. And then when we head over to Kennedale, opens up a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger quarter mile, with a little bit less banking, and so the pace speeds up a little bit compared to Grayson, and always racy over there. Bo does a fantastic job working that track week in and week out, especially for the tour. The Bransons have, whatever it is that they can do, they're going to do it. So that's, super fun track to race. And then, like I said, then we head south and go to the high banks of Heart of Texas Speedway, quarter mile, high bank, black dirt, fast, true definition of hammered down when you start the night. And David and the crew have been doing a fantastic job this year as well. So I expect nothing less for the tour, but really true testament to the drivers and their crews, and being able to adjust their cars, their setups, because each track, they're not a single track you carry over what you did. You're going to make adjustments. You're going to make changes. And so it's a true tour, mixing it up and just seeing what you're made of.
So we were just talking to Jeffrey about the sport mods, right? Or we call them limiteds when they're obviously not IMCA sanctioned, because you don't want to get into any cease and desist and all that good stuff, right? But it seems like
we got it. We're covered. We're covered.
Yeah, it seems like if you have that IMCA sticker on a limited mod or / a sport mod, that's where they all are. So talk about the advantage of adding the sport mod to the show. Obviously, everybody loves the big mods because they're loud, they're fast, they have rooster tails, stock cars, full body cars. People love those. Sport Mod's kind of that. They're small in some spots in terms of capacity and number of cars, but if it's got that IMCA sticker on it, they seem to show up for all kind of points and all kind of money.
Correct. The sport mods, or as y'all like to call it down south, limiteds. A bomber with a modified body. But yeah, we're trying to really emphasize a little more on them. This tour used to be its title was Mod Tour. I was speaking with Chris Morris today, and he's wearing one of the old Mod Tour shirts. And now, granted, the mods they're still the premier class in our tour. The pay is there, everything, that they are the premier. And stock cars, man, they just put on a show. And so sport mods historically have kind of just, they're there, but they felt like they've been almost a filler, they're there, but you don't really know what's going on. Well, this year we tried to put a little more emphasis on, show them the respect, because those guys, they put on a show. And they ain't got fenders, but they're not objected to rubbing doors and wheel hopping each other, So, they put on a good show. And so we really tried to focus in the off season to how can we, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but how can we be more apt to making them feel wanted? We want them to feel like they're a part of the tour. They're not just a, support class, and so we've increased their pay, both winning and starting. We've made it the equal to a stock car, and they've got some really cool contingency prizes just for them. So we've really tried hard on behind scenes to try to drive that up, and so it's, I feel like it's showed so far, just in regards to our registrations, because our registrations for sport mods, in my opinion, have grown quite a bit compared to last year. Now we're still literally a week out. But last year I had 21 sport mods pre-registered. That was it. We had more show up during the week, but just in pre-registers. Well, we've met and exceeded that number for this year in sport mods. And so that tells me that what we're doing is working, and those drivers and, owners are seeing that, and they're like, okay, and so, and that's all we can ask for, is, hey, we're going to extend an olive leaf. We want you. We want to treat you fairly and make you feel like you're part of the family. And they seem receptive.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it is. It's a, we were talking about that. I don't know how much you heard of what Bobby and I were talking about, to where that division, call it whatever you want to call it, it has kind of fallen off a little bit. And the modifieds has had the resurgence, and the stock cars are the stock cars, So I love that. I love that they're a part of it, because there are a lot of great drivers and teams that are a part of that. The TV package, the streaming package, always important. You mentioned IMCA TV is where you can consume all of this. And again, never more important than an event like this, if you're not going to be at the tracks, to where you can just dial it up. Boom, there it is. Will the tour be on a regular monthly IMCA TV package, or is this something where you're going to have? And again, this is always I hate these questions.
Yeah, no, I get them all the time. Rodney. Got them for the baby blue. And to answer your question, Danielle, it won't be part of, and I'm going to assume she's referring to the monthly package at Heart of Texas. The tour will be its own package. You can buy the tour as a whole, or you can buy each night individually. Buying it as a whole, there is a discounted price. And if I was prepared for that, I could tell you, because I know it's already up. And give me 2 seconds and I will.
No, you're good. You are totally good. Marcus Harco joining us, talking about the All-Star Shootout coming up next week. I'll fill for you right there. Just kind of remind you.
Okay, so here you go. So it's $79.99 for the complete package. That's all 4 nights for $79.99, and or you can buy individually nights at $24.99. So I mean, in essence, it's a night for free. By doing it this way, and I don't know. I kind of feel. I don't know, boasting a little bit here, proud of my partners. If you go to IMCA TV right now, either on your mobile device or on your computer, the moment you pull it up, it has all 4 of our dates right there on the top as the premier events that are coming up. They've got some weekly shows and other events happening this weekend, but our events are right there on the front, headliner. And so for us, that's really cool because that's, one, we're working together. We're a partnership, and everybody that we have, I tend to not call them sponsors because we're partners.
Mm-hmm.
We're working together. We have a lot of contingency partners, and we want to grow as a tour, but to do so, we all work together. Those businesses need to grow, kind of like what you were talking about with, Jeffrey Abbey and CRS.
Mm-hmm.
Those businesses need to grow. That and helps the racing grow. That helps the tours. That helps the racetracks. We can all grow together as long as we're willing to work together. And so, shout out to IMCA TV. For doing that. They did it for the Baby Blue, which was really cool because every time I click on the weekend, the Baby Blue was right there on the front page before the weekend even got here. So, but yes, $74.99. You can buy the whole weekend package, or if you want to do it individually night, then you can do that as well. So.
Not a bad deal. Basically, the cost of a ticket to get in for the most part.
Essentially,
that's kind of the way IMCA seems to be set up, with the financial wise. Is it's about, in between the cost of a pit pass and in between the cost of a gate pass. So it's good though. How important is that streaming aspect? I mean, obviously you want butts in the seats for the tour, but it's almost like the streaming aspect is something that you just gotta have it now. I mean, just seems like, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's just got to be there because inevitably, if it's not streamed, everybody's gonna be like, "Well, that sucks. I don't want to go." Well, you're not going. You're gonna watch it on the stream, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't want to go, but I want to. I'm mad because I can't watch it. I'm confused. But yes, no. That seems like the world we live in. But yes, the streaming aspect is very important. A lot for the marketing side of it. The streaming aspect is reaching people and promoting your product and your partners and everybody to a much broader audience. We've traditionally ran at least 2 or 3 of our events during the week for this tour. Well, this time of year, you've got graduations, you've got, schools ending, people working. And sometimes it's hard for those tracks like SOS or Grayson that have traditionally been in the middle of the week to put, as you put it, butts in the stands. And so you need this because, for one, your local fan, he may not be able to come because, well, they've got to go to bed and they've got to get up and go to work the next day. They don't have the luxury of taking off, a couple of days or a few days to enjoy the races live. And so, this gives them an opportunity to still be loyal to their track and to the tour, or better yet, they get to watch it, say, Thursday, and they worked Friday, and then they decide they're going to follow the tour the rest of the weekend. Mm-hmm. Well, they're up to date. They watched it last night. on Thursday, and they know what's going on. They've got the storylines ready, and they're going to follow it, and they get to enjoy the rest of the tour. So but overall, I think it's very important, for our partners in our tracks to expand that audience outside of their normal 100, 200 mile radius that they would normally pull people from. So I think it's very important, not just for the tour, but for short track racing in general.
Absolutely. Marcus, talk about some of, obviously we have it pulled up right there. 1250 for the modifieds, 1,000 for the sport mods and stock cars and so forth. You mentioned it. Kind of talk about some of the contingencies of some of the folks that have been a part of that, because a lot of times that's the stuff that people don't know about, and that adds a lot. You talk about partners; those contingencies can really make a show a big damn deal.
Correct. So we've got some what I call steadfast partners. They've been with us before I took on this role, and then we've got some new ones we've added. So just to give you some examples, we've got Weir's Machine, sponsor of our modified division. They give gift certificates every year for their product. We have fast shafts, drive lines. Each points champion gets a drive shaft. They get a certificate. They call fast shafts and send them their certificate, and they get a custom built drive shaft, whatever it is that they need, length that they need. Smiley's been with us for a long time as well. They're our Victory Lane sponsor this year. They give gift certificates, which is kind of cool because there is a Smiley's up in Grayson. They've got a store up there. You basically travel. You can travel by Mesquite on your way to Kennedale, depending on which route you take. If that store doesn't have it, you can swing by the Mesquite store on your way to Kennedale and use that. Start buying product that you might need, and you can use the gift card after the tour. They do a lot for us. Abilene Race Rads, we give a brand new radiator to a mod driver. Sport mods and stock cars get those Super Sucker fans. Kyle Wisdom, great partner over there. He not only does he partner, he comes and races. And then you guessed earlier, CRS Suspensions, Jeffrey, always doing something. In the past, he's done, complete revalves, bring your shocks to him and bring all 4 shocks, and he'll completely revalve them for free, which is these days is about $1,000 to revalve. So, and he's giving away three of those. We got Speed Secrets, our stock car sponsor. We always get. I don't have all that from him. G-Dub and I, we play phone tag quite a bit, but he's real great to us. Usually, we end up with something, whether it's some throttle control bars or for like sport mods, do the drawing a blank, the front end kit that keeps your A-frames at the right geometry.
The thingamabob.
Yeah, the thingamabob. Yeah. They got those new lightweight lug nuts. Those are a real hot item right now. Whatever G-Dub ends up, we've got that. Lit Sticks, our Sport Mod sponsor, class sponsor this year, with gift certificates to pit lights, and Sport Mod Champ gets one. Then we have those are our staples. Those are the ones. Those are companies we've been with. building, continuing to build and strengthen that relationship. But we got some new ones this year, which I'm really cool and super excited about. And Canopy Express, Kevin Rogers, Caleb Crenshaw, those guys have come on board. We've got a custom designed tour themed 10 by 10 canopy that the Mod Champ's going to get. I don't have those pictures yet, but I've been waiting. We're hoping that the canopy is ready before the tour, because if so, then we're going to use it and display it. Nice. But a brand new 10 by 10 custom tour themed canopy for the Mod Champ. And then Rush Race Gear, again with Kevin Rogers and Caleb Crenshaw. We're going to do a brand new Rush Race Gear fire suit. It'll also be tour themed. For you guys that have kept up with IMCA, you've seen it for like the Fast Shafts Invitationals and stuff like that up at Super Nationals, where they get this brand new suit. Well, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to do this, and this is where it's kind of cool. So for mod and stock cars, it's going to be based off perfect attendance. So you come all 4 nights. We're going to do a drawing, and the winner of that we'll do the custom measurements and everything, and they will end up with a all-star tour themed custom design suit for both the mod and stock car. And then stock car champ is going to get a custom design trailer enclosure from Rush Race Gear.
Nice.
And so those are some really cool contingencies that we've had, and not just that's the contingencies, but we have points fund. The drivers that come, they're gonna, in the top 10, they're walking away with something. But it's not just a contingency; they're walking away with money. The mods pay $1,000 to win that tour. Stock cars and sport mods pay $500. And I'll give you a complete breakdown. Mod is 1,000, 600, 400, 300, 200, and 100 from 6th down to 10th. Stock cars 5, 4, 3, 2, and 100 from 5th down to 10th, and the same for the sport mods. So top 10 in the points go home with cash and prizes. But I didn't want to stop there, because it's not just about the drivers, right? I mean, the drivers put on the show. They are the show. We can do all the work behind the scenes, but if the drivers aren't there, then there is no show. But I wanted to get the fans involved. And you played their commercial right before I came on, and that's My Race Pass. They're obviously a partner for a lot of racetrack series tours, and they've been great to us. And so what we're doing is, if you've ever been on My Race Pass, they have the fantasy, where you go in and you pick your drivers each night, and you collect points based on how they finished and so forth. Well, we've got we're going to have a swag bag, is what I'm going to call it. And the winner of that fantasy challenge at the end of the tour, so cumulative of all 4 nights points collected, winner of that, and I'm going to speak out of turn because I haven't actually asked every track for it yet, but I don't feel that they're going to tell me no, but I'm going to put them out there now. But the swag bag's going to have a tour shirt, and because I'll know who the winner is afterwards, it's going to be the size that you want, barring that we have them. We do have event shirts. We'll be posting those this evening on our Facebook page, thanks to On Demand. And so, but our swag bag, our MRP Fantasy swag bag, is going to have a tour shirt in it, a tour hat. It's going to have a shirt from all 4 tracks, and whatever else I can grab and stuff in that bag. And so the shirts and hats alone, a little over $100 worth of product. And really, that's just I want to get the fans involved, other than just coming and watching and cheering. And so, yeah, we're gonna have the My Race Pass swag bag, and and I'm looking forward to that. One other thing I wanted to mention, part of our partners, we're going to have new to this year is a restart zone. And that will be the Rush Race Gear Restart Zone. It might be Canopy Express. It's going to be one of those two. I have to go back and read my email to confirm that. But we're going to have a restart zone. We'll have some feather flags over in the turn 3, turn 4 area that we'll set up each night. Thanks to our partners over there at Rush and Canopy Express, and so we'll have that restart zone. That's going to be good for the tour, just to keep consistent, knowing, as a driver myself, I won one of these events a few years back, and I took off coming off of turn number 2 at Wake Up. They turned the lights on and I went. And as a leader, that's great.
Yeah.
As the guy behind them, maybe not so fun. Or the person even further that's probably not even to turn 1 yet. So we're gonna try to keep the racing tight, and have those restart zones. And so we'll do, as we like to call it here, the Texas two-step, all night long. Heat races, B mains features.
You're welcome for that. I coined that. Thank you.
Well, I like it. It's, Delaware had their call to fame for a long time, but it's time for the Texas two-step to take over. So, but yeah, we're going to do the Texas two-step all night, every night. Double file restarts every race. I don't care if we have 10 cautions, we're going to have double file restarts. And for you folks that don't know what a Texas two-step is, that's where second place on a restart gets lane choice. Whether it's in the heat, like I said, heat, B, or the A. Second place is going to get lane choice. And I think the heat race is really where it's going to come into play, because sometimes the heat race is, like we talked about, it's hammered down, it's fast, it's one groove, and you want to be in that preferred groove. You don't want to cost you that second place, a potential finish, or even a shot at the win. And so yeah, we got some really cool, mixing it up, not too bold, but just trying to change her up a little bit, and keep the racing exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely will be. And if you can't be there, IMCA TV, be sure and check it out. The All-Star Tour coming up on a loaded race weekend, the best weekend for racing, in my opinion, of the year. Marcus, so excited, dude. We'll need to get a recap. Keep us posted. Share stuff with us. We'll push it out on the socials, on the websites, and so forth, man. Love what you're doing, man. Let us know how we can help coming up for next week.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. As always, it's always fun to be on here with you. I try to catch you as often as I can. And so it's always fun to be on here, fun to listen. I'll be honest, it gets a little boring when you talk about the asphalt stuff, but
hey, man,
typical Texas dirt tracker here. So
we get it. It happens a lot, man. It happens a lot.
Hey, but I will tell you this. Changing subjects. What do we got to do to get cars toured to HRP?
I'll call you. It's probably not something I can talk about on here, but yeah, that'd be cool, right?
That would be cool. That would be a race that I would go to. I would happily drive down to Houston.
A Brinks truck and a bottle and a bucket of hopes and dreams. That's about what it's going to take. Probably.
Yeah. I've been down that avenue. I've asked some of those folks, but anyway, Yeah, that'd be great. That would
Okay.
be great. All right, my man. Looking forward to it.
Well-
Next week, I'll be checking in on imca.tv. Can't make any of. I may actually be able to make Waco. I don't know, but we'll see. Looking forward to it, man. Be well. Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate it. And for you drivers, don't forget registration closes this Sunday, end of day Sunday. So early registration, that is. We have nightly registration. You can still register and come to all the tours every night, even if you didn't pre-register. You're still eligible for those contingency prizes. So, come be a part of it. If work or life won't allow you to be there every night, we'll take you whatever nights we can. But make sure you go register, watch us on IMCA TV, or watch us from the races. Thanks, guys.
Yep, you bet, Marcus. Be well, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
You bet. There he goes, Marcus Harcrow, with a hell of an undertaking right there doing a program like that. That's a lot, but I think the big thing about it, and again, here is all the lowdown on everything that you were looking at next week. That's some really healthy. And again, remember that these are 4 nights at 4 great racetracks right here in this general vicinity, and the contingencies. All of that is there. This is fun. I got to tell you, if I was gonna go check out a dirt track show around here, those 3 divisions are the ones that I want to go watch. No offense to anybody else. No offense to anybody else.
I mean, those are the ones right now. Modifieds are hot. Stock cars are stock cars. And as we mentioned multiple times tonight, as long as it's got an IMCA sticker, there's plenty of sport wants to go around. That's
the big thing about it. And I think that's something that has been, I think it's been maybe a little downplayed by some people with some of the success of stems, is that because it is Southern Touring. Don't drop a quarter in the cup. I got it right. So Southern Touring IMCA. I mean, that's a pretty powerful little 4 letters right there, right? There's a lot of 2-letter things that are not good. When it comes to dirt track racing, in my opinion, IMCA is a very good. I mean, whatever the USRA, whatever all the different ones are. IMCA, man, and I love what he was talking about right there. When you pull it up on that streamer, and boom, there it is, and you're a week out from it. And they already are pushing that thing. That's pretty damn good right there.
And that's pretty awesome that they're supporting it that much. So obviously it's a good thing to see with the baby blue. I mean, like we talked about, streaming is a critical part. And I use my Marshalltown, Iowa example. Excuse me. If you live in Marshalltown, Iowa, you need to be there on Friday nights watching that race from Marshalltown Speedway. But I live just south of Austin, Texas, and I watch Marshalltown Speedway on Flow Racing because, well, it's fun racing to watch. But if you live close, get your butt there. If you live far away, like we're a little bit away from Southern Oklahoma, watch it on imca.tv.
Well, and that's, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that about Oklahoma, because a lot of people tell me when I'm traveling, they're like, well, it's just in Oklahoma. It's not far from you. I'm like, well, it doesn't seem that far away. I mean, I make that drive so often. I mean, at this point, it doesn't seem that far, but it is. And from you and I, Bobby, Grayson County is a pretty good hike. Yeah, Kennedale is a pretty good hike.
4 hours.
Hell, Waco's a pretty good hike. I mean,
it's 3 hours to Waco when you get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, with that traffic situation. Yeah, with that traffic situation. Yeah. So, and that's where I think that it really is. I mean, especially in a situation like this, if you're not in close proximity to any of those places, that's where the streaming aspect really comes into play, to where you can support the entire series. I mean, look, $79. Is that what he said? $79 for all of that? That ain't bad, man. That is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, from your couch, from your recliner, from your whatever, you can cook your own food and have your own beverages and all that. That's not a bad thing. These TVs these days, shit, almost rather be at home, but get to the track if you can.
With your home speedway setup that you have from audio-visual consultations,
That's right. And they'll hook you up. 255-8678, avconsultations.com. Check them out and tell them you want a system like Double R. That's how they know me over there. I called up there one day. I'm like, hey, it's Rodney. And they're like, Rodney who? I'm like, Double R. Oh, you. So anyway, but yeah, that should be a great tour. Be sure and check that out coming up next week. And as we said, imca.tv if you can't catch it live at one of the racetracks. All right, so moving forward, let's dive in and talk a little bit. Oops, wrong one. Let's dive in and talk about some of the other stuff going on in the world of motorsports. And I think that's directly starts when we're dealing with the state of Texas. What a weekend for our man. And of course, I guess this is where everybody's going to turn it off, like Marcus was talking about. But don't turn that shit off right now, because we're talking about a dude that you've seen on this program a lot of times, and he's a very, very young dude.
And he's a dirt tracker, too. He's talking about his dirt track racing roots all the time.
He's a dirt tracking guy. How about Caden Honeycutt this past weekend? Winning in the truck series, backing it all up. I mean, this dude, what a weekend. God. Proud of that guy, man. Proud of that guy.
He made it happen. Smoked their ass from way distance back there in the ARCA race at Watkins Glen. Did the same thing in the truck race. And then this weekend just walked the dog at the Cars Tour.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that he's the first dude and that nobody's ever done it where they've swept a Cars Tour weekend with the pros and the stocks.
I know.
You would have figured by now that had been done.
I thought that was a misprint. I thought for sure that our other man, I thought for sure Jared Fryer had done that. But when I saw that, I'm like,
the championships.
The championship. That's right. That's right.
He has the old Cars Tour Super Late Model title and the Cars Tour Stock Car title.
That's right. And I can only assume, because Modifieds of Mayhem on Friday night coming up at Five Flags Speedway with a loaded field. I mean, our Jared Maupin, a part of that, and I've seen Cody Stickler and that list continuing to grow and grow and grow. They're coming up for the Beach Ball 50, I think is what that's being coined over at Five Flags Speedway. I'm assuming Caden's going to be in that too, right? Because I think he's running all the
modified on Friday. They were Friday afternoon at Dover.
Oh, so he's going to miss it. Okay, yeah, he's going to miss that one. All right. Well, I'm like, okay, well, there's another one right there. There's another one. Yeah, Sugar Sean calls it right there. Finally got his truck win. I mean, that dude has been right there. And that's where I love how in motorsports media we can talk about, because I guess there was a big shakeup with Jenna Fryer no longer being with AP. And when it comes to the way some of the motorsports media is covered, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off because I guess I take it a little more personal with Caden Honeycutt because he's a buddy. But it's like, that it's kind of been, well, he hasn't been able to seal it. But dude's still the point leader. It's right. Like he's jumped into this truck that Corey Heim did all these amazing things. He's still the point leader. He's still been in the top damn 5 all season. Now he just finished it off.
Yeah, and actually, as of 24 minutes ago on his Facebook page, new merch is live. Nice. Got a diecast coming out, and then has a shirt that says "First Win at the Glen."
I like that.
And has the foster care truck or whatever, the blue and white truck.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like
limited edition.
Well, and you had to know with him that it was just a matter of time. I mean, he has been that close, and I wonder. I know that this, I don't know, call it a misconception or call it a myth or whatever, but it's like once you get that first one, of course, we haven't seen it with Ty Gibbs because folks are like, oh, here comes the floodgate. You know why I say that? The only reason that I say that is because I'm so old. And by the way, well done, Tubi on the NASCAR channel. This week up until today, they've done a really good job of showing. I remembered why I liked the All-Star race.
The old-ass All-Star race. They showed them back-to-back, 86 and 87.
Dude, the one, and it's so funny now going back and watching it because I was watching yesterday. Well, the one where
graphics were horrible.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean,
compared to today's standard.
Yeah, it's the one yesterday that I was laughing at is where they're like, I think Neil Bonnet was in the booth calling the race. The one where Waltrip hit the clutch and blew that motor all to shit.
87 or 86.
Yeah, 86. Yeah, because he won. Yeah, where they're like, oh my God, he blew it. It blew up, and then
it lasted exactly the right number of laps before it blew up. Yeah, and then they interviewed Junior Johnson.
Yeah,
sometimes the motor just goes when a motor goes.
Yeah, I told Darrell he just needed to make it last. Yeah, Yeah, and then the other one too. I guess it was 88 or 89. One of the years that Terry was in that car, to where they're talking on the broadcast. They're like, Junior Johnson with that big motor. I'm like, I missed the initial part of that. I'm like, so what did they tell him? Did they tell somebody they were running a fat hot motor or what? Yeah, that fat engine, here it comes. I'm like, what the hell? What is this all about? I don't know.
Yeah, watch it blowing up at the All-Star races. The biggest gotcha since Petty showed up with a big ass motor and hail damage
Charlotte.
on his race car.
Yeah.
Where they were like, oh, they were paying more attention. Why's the body all messed up before they even paid attention to the motor?
I love one of the stories and one of the books that I found when I was going through some stuff. It's called Wide Open. I can't think of who wrote it. I'm going to reread it. It's a paperback that I've had for years, and it's talking about that. And that particular race is in there to where somebody walked up to Petty where they're like, they tell Petty, well, that motor is a little big, maybe once it cools off. And Richard Petty's like, you could take that thing to Antarctica. It's not going to cool off enough to be legal. Oh man. But yeah. Great job, Tubi, because that's where the All-Star race was cool back in those days, in my opinion. And
it is going to be weird to see it run in the daytime instead of under lights. Of course, I just don't know how in the hell there's no open. I'm not expecting big things from the All-Star race this weekend.
The only thing that I'm going to tell people is for the folks that hate when races or when racetracks lose races and all these different things. If you're a fan of Dover, especially in that immediate area over there, support it, because if this is an ultimate fail, which I see no way that it's not going to be, how's this thing going to be interesting at all?
It's not.
This could be, I mean, I don't know. Now they're talking about bringing the street course back, and I mean, it makes sense. The San Diego thing is just a 1-year thing for the 250th anniversary of the country. I mean, I don't quite understand the uproar. People already saying that Chicagoland needs to go away, which I will be going to Chicagoland. I'm actually kind of excited about that. But it's like, let's, I don't know, where else can you do that if you have to have a road course?
The only other place to have it if they shut down San Diego is Daytona Road Course. So,
and you know,
that's always the contingency plan. Run it at Daytona.
Yeah. The COVID savior. I go back to the thing with Dover. I mean, if this thing is an ultimate failure, look at TMS. I mean, I thought that when the All-Star race went to TMS, that may kind of be the one where it's like, how you come back from that? You got people wanting TMS in the chase now. So I don't know, man. I am kind of concerned about Dover because I like that track.
I mean, I would like to see a Gen 7 race at Daytona on the road course. I mean, SVG would just smoke their ass, but I mean, kind of like he did at Watkins Glen. But I mean, I think a Gen 7 race at the Speedway, because the one they ran there for the Clash and they ran there during COVID, those races were in the Gen 6 car, but those races were actually pretty damn good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if they're going to try to satisfy, I mean, I think what you could have maybe done, but again, there's a lot more to this than what, and so much of the outcry that I see with everything with NASCAR and with asphalt racing is what the fans want. I mean, the fans want this. We've seen it so many different times to where whoever, whether it be NASCAR or anybody else, they do what the fans want. And the fans don't reciprocate that appreciation, whether it be in attendance, whether it be in watching, or whether it be in any of that other stuff. I mean, give Rockingham a points race. I mean, if you take away don't put it on the Chicago street course, give Rockingham a points race, and that would be what the fans want. But
I don't think, as somebody that's been to Rockingham for the last 2 years,
can't do that.
I don't think Rockingham can handle a cup race. Of course, I didn't think Wilkesboro could either, but
I'm still not
but
sure.
Wilkesboro, actually, technically, Wilkesboro has not handled a full-fledged cup race.
Right.
They handled a couple of all-star races. They haven't handled a full-fledged cup weekend.
I happen to think, I mean, for the all-star race, as racy as Texas is right now, and again, this is me being a homer, run the damn all-star race there and do some of these zany things and chop it all up like, that 10-lap dash that I watched yesterday from 1985, 6, 7, 8, whatever that was. I mean, that was cool. I mean, how about this? Just get rid of the All-Star race. Add another points race. And
There's
let's
no
go.
reason for the All-Star race to be there if every single person you watch every single week is going to be racing the main event on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I don't want to name names, but there are some people in there when I think of All-Star. Yeah, yes, they are a star because, like NASCAR says, they have 38 All-Stars racing every week. Some of those people are not All-Stars, so to speak. I mean, whether it be the equipment, whether it be the whatever, they're not All-Stars. Just get rid of it. Just don't even do that. I've said this with the NFL, and I guess the NFL has kind of gone along these lines. Or if you want to do something All-Star, if you want to have a NASCAR All-Star race, run them in a go-kart or do something like that. I mean,
yeah, put them in Legacy cars in Charlotte.
Yeah, do something like that. But have like 12 of them. Not everybody, because they're not all All-Stars. I mean, the Major League All-Star game, Major League and hockey, I think, are the ones that do the All-Star game, right? And it ain't everybody. It's not everybody. Everybody's not included.
NHL does the Four Nations, which is badass.
Well, yeah, that's
different. That was badass.
Yeah, and NFL kind of went down that route, but that thing was just so. The NFL thing is just such a bad taste.
If it wasn't for the Pro Bowl, there wouldn't be a professional flag football league coming up, man.
Exactly. So you can do all these All-Star games and all these different things. I think 15 years ago, it would be a hit because that game has been so sour for a long time, but you still call it the All-Star game. And it's like
the NBA All-Star game is horrible because there's no defense.
Yeah.
And the All-Star, the All-Star, I like better when baseball said the winning league of the All-Star got home field advantage in the World Series.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, that right there, you
made
had
it interesting as hell right there.
You had the reason to do it. And I mean, with All-Star, when you had all the guys juiced up on steroids and they're out there doing the home run derby and all these different things, I'll tell you what I miss a lot about this All-Star NASCAR All-Star thing, because I was watching some of that shit too the other day, was that damn pit crew challenge. I mean, do that.
Oh, the separate were they? It's involved it's involved in qualifying now.
Yeah. But like when they went to the auditorium
when they went to the Time Warner Center and did it as a standalone event, that's when it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and of course now one lug nut. I mean, I think now it'd be even more interesting because the pit stops are so fast, and there are so many pit stop penalty or pit road penalties and all these things. Hell, be good practice for them.
I mean, look what Hendrick did in the Garage 56 there at Le Mans with the single lug nut.
Mm-hmm.
The manual pit crew with a manual jack won the damn pit crew challenge at Le Mans.
Yeah, absolutely. Covered Dover. That's the other thing. Indy 500 coming up. We're talking about that. Coke 600. Folks, lay off of Catherine Legg. Man, I've liked Catherine Legg for a lot of years. Go Cat, go. Let her do the double. I mean, it's always straight to the negative. She's going to wreck in 20 laps. She's going to whatever. She's been pretty clear.
But you know what? She's going to be the first female to try it.
She's been pretty clear. She wants to finish both races. I'd love for her to finish both races on the lead lap. I worry more about the NASCAR race because, AJ Foyt Racing, I mean, that's pretty good equipment, and I think she can do well in that if she can stay out of trouble. But you know what? Why do we have to go straight to the why her? Well, people want to see her do it. I mean, is it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Destiny Spurlock going for her truck debut there at Dover since they got washed out at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, nice. Well, I think Natalie's racing again this week. Of course, like the same thing. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, and it's not just the women. I mean, it's just everything. It's like, well, that's stupid. Okay. Anyway, and I definitely did. I posted on Facebook on Sunday morning. I woke up and I put a coffee. I put the little emoji with the dude with the shades on and all that because I was sitting back watching all the aftermath of all the weekend, all the drama. I put the drama thing too. Those two little drama things. Mm-hmm. I put that. Yeah, it's always fun to watch on Sunday. I do want to ask you this before we get out of here. So Jamie McMurray was talking about the questions come up again, and IndyCar got spanked by the O'Reilly series, by the way, in viewership. And again, This is where I think, as much as I love the Indy 500, let's not do the road course thing. That nobody cares. Nobody cares unless you're in Indiana, I guess.
But it's the month of May. If you don't have it, it's half the month of May.
Well, they never did it before, Bobby. It was.
That's also when they had 40 cars trying to get to the Indianapolis 500.
That's a good point. That's a good point. By the way, Indy 500 grandstands are sold out. Are we going to start debating that again? Now, the Indy 500, that is one when they say the grandstands are sold out. That some bitch is sold out, because I don't think they've taken anything out of there, have they?
Mm-mm.
That's a
They
lot of damn.
They lose their historical. That's why I don't think they're any. That's why I don't think they're any taller, because they don't want to lose the historical.
That's a lot of goddamn nuggets. That's a lot of people in there. If they and they probably will show up. But see, that race being sold out and being full and being attended, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
That doesn't
freaking
count.
Indy 500.
It's Indy 500. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it's a bad example. That's a bad example to prove our point. Anyway, where I was going with this is Jamie McMurray the other day making you as a race broadcaster, race announcer, making some comments. He was kind of I guess a little offended with the whole studio broadcasting, so forth. And Jamie was talking about doing stuff in the studio, having monitors and having all the different things to where it's like you can't look out the window and do all these different things. I think Jamie McMurray trying to maybe defend himself and some of the look, the CW doesn't struggle. I don't give a shit if they're at the track or at the studio. Their broadcast is solid. Again, this past weekend, were they in Watkins Glen?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I bet they were at the studio. That was rock solid. But his comments talking about, I don't think it's that big a deal. Why is this even a debate? I mean, I think a lot of this goes on to the broadcaster, and so forth.
You could tell the difference on the trucks for sure when the trucks do it.
Yeah.
But you can't tell you really can't tell the difference in the Xfinity cars. I think it's just the way that booth is laid out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody one way or the other, but you could definitely tell when they're not live at the racetrack in a truck. Everything's delayed, everything's like that. But yeah, it's a little different there. So
the truck, it seems like the two guys are seeing one thing, and then Jamie Little will pop in with something where it's like, boom, wait, where'd that come from? It's like they're on different monitors. I've got like 3 monitors across this thing right here, and it's like they're looking here and she's over there. But that's the thing with that. When you do a broadcast like that, you do have different things. So, but here's what McMurray said about the remote booth. I'm kind of bitter about this. I've seen people be like, it's not fair to Adam, Jamie, and Parker to not be at the track, and that's simply not true. The balance of CW will be at more races this year than any other network, but the studio is exceptional, which I can understand that.
NASCAR headquarters and the NASCAR production.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it is.
The monitors that we have and the different angles actually lets us see more at the racetrack or lets us see more than you can see at the track, which I do agree with that. The racetrack is nice to look out the window at pit stops because you can see all the way down pit road. However, you can't look out the window and call the race. I've never done one. I've done races with monitors, and when I would do them, I would use the monitor and the window, and that's where you get in line with whoever's doing Jeff Christensen doing your camera work. But that stuff right there, I mean, it is to find the nice balance. But I don't know. I can't understand why that right there is such a debate. But I think it is because, like you said, the truck one is just so discombobulated.
Well, they should do the Formula One races on NBC that way.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Varsha and those guys would park up and go to the studio with a big, gigantic ass screen in front of them, and they would watch the race. They'll watch the worldwide feed live, and would do the commentating there off the worldwide feed. But they did that from a studio. They weren't doing it live. They weren't doing it live from Silverstone or live from Abu Dhabi, or they did it all from a big screen in a TV studio.
I saw one comment where somebody said, kind of in those remarks from Jamie McMurray, to where it's like, yeah, but can you smell the fuel in the tires? I'm like, from where he would be at the track, he ain't gonna smell that shit there anyway.
Yeah, you ain't gonna smell that from the press box.
All you smell is the taco bar or whatever it is. Again, I don't understand why this is such a big deal, but that's the stuff that we debate. I don't know. All right, man. I'm done bitching. What you want to be pissed off about before we get out of here?
Not a whole lot, my man. Won the race, smoked their ass. Probably the most dominating. That to me on Sunday was the most dominating performance on a road course I've ever seen in a Cup car.
I'm old school about a lot of things, BC, but I'm here to tell you, I never got to see Dan Gurney race NASCAR. The times that I watched NASCAR, Waltrip was really good. Terry was really good. Of course, Gordon. I mean, those guys, and then Ron Fellows and all these guys that would pop in. But this whole debate about greatest, well, he hadn't done enough, and bullshit.
Oh, he's the greatest NASCAR road racer ever.
Yeah, back in the day, they raced at 1-2 tracks, maybe Riverside, maybe Watkins Glen, Sonoma. This dude, hey, I take a lot of pride.
Coda being his kryptonite,
that's what I was going to say.
Ass everywhere.
I take a lot of pride that he can't win here. I take a lot of pride that he can't win at Coda because that's the one that's got him for some reason. And the other part about it is, and this has been discussed a lot because the people that I'm talking about that I watch racing, they were the ones that figured this stuff out. They were the ones that could race on road courses and could maybe beat the ringers. All these guys are damn good road racers now, and they're driving road racing cars
and driving sports cars. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, that debate needs to end.
But to come from 26 seconds down or 26th place, 24 seconds down under green, most dominating performance since Bill Elliott came from 2 laps down at Talladega.
Yeah.
With no cautions.
Yeah. And I was,
I mean, I know that's a bit of a stretch and people will disagree with that, but it's the same exact concept. No cautions, 26 seconds.
Right. And I'm not here to, on that track. I mean, I wasn't an oval. I mean, on that track, and I'm not here to promote other people and tell you whatever. But go catch the Dale Jr. download this week and listen to his breakdown of everything. And then Shane's on there also, kind of talking about whatever. But that is not even a debate. That is not. I don't give a shit if it's been 9 races or whatever it's been. Hands down. Down.
7 out of what's a season? 38 races, a handful. He's got 7 or 8 wins out of 60, 75 wins.
Yeah. I will say I'm glad that it's
once he wins on an oval, everybody else that'll be the day that everybody can kiss his ass.
Oh, and I do think that it's cool that this isn't some young dude doing this. I mean, he's not old, but he's not. He's
I
not
like
one
the fact that he's doing it, especially when he smokes him in the Xfinity race, that he's doing it in a left-hand drive car, and all of his experience, except for some of the IMSA races for the 24 Hours of Daytona, have all been in right-hand drive cars. So he's had to learn shifting and everything else in his opposite hand. Now his feet work are still the same, but I think that's what makes it even more impressive. All except for his IMSA stock car stuff, all of his IMSA stuff has all been right-hand drive, or his Australian stuff has been right-hand drive, and now he's on left-hand drive. So
I tweeted this today that's a dude that I'd like to see in the next couple of years. Now, if he did the double, that would be some big time worldwide shit. If that dude, I don't know if he could drive one of those Indy cars though. Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I thought a lot about Jimmy Johnson as a driver. Well, I still do, but even he struggled in that. I don't know if he could pull that off. Great program. Talking to Jeffrey Abbey, $30,000 richer after the win at Boot Hill this past weekend in the Spring Nationals. And of course, the All-Star Tour coming up next week on a loaded week of racing. Locally, we have, I think you said I-37 with the STEM series. We talked about modifieds. I think the Southern Touring IMCA Modified Series, great weekend here to where they're kind of standalone. I think 37. The weather should be fine as far as I can tell. So I think we're going to have a good program in San Antonio. Coming up this weekend.
It'll be a pretty good show. I may go depending on how logistical stuff works out, but I don't know. No guarantees I'll be there, but I'm going to try to make that show.
Yeah, should be a good one. Should be a good one with the Southern Touring IMC8 Modified Series. My man, rest of the week for you. I know you got a lot of things you're working on, but I'm home again I think I'm home for a week and a half or so. I don't leave till June, so we'll be back here to do this for the next couple of weeks as the usual schedule. But what you got on the docket besides possibly IH37 Speedway?
Just trying to play a little catch up and get some stuff done around here. I got to redo some stuff in my garage. I bought some new toolboxes, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to put them. So I got to make a spot for them and then kind of go from there.
Absolutely. All right, friends, be sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dirty Air Sports. Like and share all of these archives, everything that you find, RevvedUpSportsShow.com. You can check out everything there, and you can check out that on-demand shirts merchandise. It's also right there on the website at RevvedUpSportsShow.com. Thank you, Jeffrey Abbey. Thank you, Marcus Harcrow. Thank you, everyone, for checking in on all the different pages, and we will do it again next time. #Real Race Talk. This has been the Revved Up Sports Show. You guys be well, and we will see you next week. Oh, we always say, find a racetrack. If you can't find a local racetrack, find a streamer. Be well, everybody.